Hi guys, good evening and welcome back. So today we will try to understand, we'll try to cover some of the interview questions which are asked for the experienced candidate, guys. So let us go through one by one question, which is Deloitte company's interview question that I'm trying to cover. Okay, so let me present the screen, and this is the round one technical. Uh, One is the very first question in any of the interviews, people will be asking, right? So explain about yourself and your roles and responsibilities. So in that case, you take some 2 to 3 minutes of your time, and you can explain about your background and what are you doing and what are your roles and responsibilities as a QA engineer. So that and all you can explain it. And then comes the second question: write a Java code to reverse the string while preserving the white spaces. So like it is like, guys, there will be one string. So that string, how do we reverse it? So that we have to do it. So we can reverse the string using a loop. So there is one a string dot a caret of high will give you the each and every character of that particular string, right? So by making use of that, we can reverse the string. So and if you guys want to cover the each and every answer, detailed answer for this intro question, please let me know. We will do that. We will do that one as well. So then comes given an SQL table. So find the second largest salary of an employee. So there is an SQL table which is having the employees table maybe. So in that salary column will be there. So we have to fetch the second largest salary. So how do we fetch it? So first we need to sort it, right? So we have to sort it in an uh, descending order, so which will be listing maximum first. So in that we have to remove the first maximum, so we have to take the second maximum. How do we take it? So where salary is less than the max salary of that particular employee, right? So the second largest will comes in the picture. So then comes what is linked hash map and explain its use. So basically hash map and linked hash map both are same, but when it comes to the linked hash map, it preserves the insertion order. So that is the only difference, guys. So apart from that, rest of the things remains the same when it comes to hash map and linked hash map. So explain black box testing and white box testing. So as you all know that this is the very basic fundamental in testing. So black box testing is a complete detailed testing like smoke testing, sanity testing, integration testing, regression testing, etc. And when it comes to white box testing, it is code level testing, giving the input and checking the output. So it is also called as a unit testing. So that is called white box testing, guys. So what is the difference between the exception and error? So this is also one of the important question during the interview. People will is going to ask on that. So then comes the difference between the find element and the find elements. So this is whenever you find the particular element, it will return the one web element. When it comes to the find element, it will return the list of web elements. So that is the only difference. What is the difference between implicit and explicit weight? So implicit weight is basically it will be applied all across the code, but explicit weight is will be applicable for only for that particular web element. So then comes the write a Selenium code to automate the calendar web element. So calendar, it depends on the calendar implementation. Based on the implementation, logic will change, guys. So that you guys can go through it. If you guys let me know if I want to make video on that calendar. Okay, how would you fetch the text from the text box in a Selenium? So this is a very good question, guys. So there is one method called get attribute. So that method will get the attribute. So what attribute we want to provide, so that it will get it, guys. So in this case maybe a value, get attribute of value, driver dot get attribute of value. How do you enter text in the alert using the Selenium? So that we can do it, right? Like first we need to switch it and then send the text to the alert message using the send case. What is the difference between checked exception and unchecked exception? Yeah, this is also one of the good question. So the checked exceptions are the exceptions which are identified by the compiler, and unchecked exceptions are the exceptions which are happening during the runtime. So if the XPath selects two element on a web page, does find element throws an exception? No, it will not throws any exception. Instead, it will go and do the necessary action wherever it finds first. So that's it. Explain smoke testing and sanity testing. So smoke testing is basically to check the basic and critical functionality of the feature, and sanity testing is to check whenever bug fixing is done, so that the bug fix is done or not. So to verify that one, sanity, we are using sanity testing. What are relative locators in Selenium? So this is also one of the good question. So the relative locators are the locators which are we are going to locate, we are indirectly going to locate that particular element. Say for example, username is there and the password is there. By making use of username web element, if you find the password web element, so that is what the relative locators is. So there we have relative to that, and father, parent and child concept will comes in picture. Explain the challenges that you faced in your project, so that you can tell, right? Like during automation, dynamic element is one more challenge. During API testing, the bulk test data is challenge, and during CACD is one more challenge. Sometimes it fails, sometimes we have to check. So that and all you guys can explain it. How would you pick the test cases for regression testing? So this is also one of the question. So that interviewer going to ask by keeping this question may basically test you your testing abilities. What are the test cases that you are going to keep for regression testing? So that is you have to consider in such a way that the major business use cases are covered, and also majorly repeated kind of a test cases which we more often use to perform during the production rollout. So those kind of test cases can be considered in the regression testing. And also, if there are any reference module, if there are any functionalities is going to be introduced into the software, so if there are any reference module to that, so that also can be considered as a regression testing. So then comes the second round question, that is explain your framework in detail. So you can go through the each and every the folder structure, and the class structure, and the screenshot, and log files, and test.xml, form.xml, and GitHub configuration, Jenkins configuration, and also you can explain it the AWS as well if you have that one. In your framework, if you have 100 pages, do you create 100 page objects? Not necessary. Not it is not that the page object model is we have to create each classes for each page. This is not always true, but it depends on the classes. It depends on the functionality. Say for example, if 10 pages are having same kind of a web element, same kind of an action, so then we don't have to create all 10 pages. So if we can create one page, and if we can do that one, that will be more helpful. So what is element click intercept exception, and how do you fix it? So element click intercepted exception is basically it will comes when during the driver is not able to interact with that particular web element. So in that case, this exception will happen. So for that we need to we have to use some kind of an wait strategy till that element is clickable or not. We need to check if that is clickable, then only we want to click that element. How do you take screenshot for the failed test cases only in test engine? So there is a test case interface, right? So by making use of that, we can create one generic method, and in the this thing in the test report, that utility will be there, right? So in that utility for the failed on test failed, so there we can integrate this generic method into it. Explain how to connect your test cases with Azure. So this depends, guys. Like if it is Azure and if it is AWS, we can create EC2 instance, and we can connect through our local machine to AWS using the SSH key. And after that, we can create start working on that particular machine, and then start executing your XML by making the changes in the base class. What is the git fetch command? The fetch command is basically it will fetch all the changes from the master branch to the local master branch, but it will not merge it. So that is the only difference. The pull will merge it, but fetch will not merge it. In Postman, how do you delete the variable after test execution is finished? So there is an unset method. Say for example, if while during before execution, if you are setting pm.environment.set, so that the same thing we can unset pm.environment.unset of that particular variable name, so that we can do it. Why do you prefer using the Cucumber BDD in your framework? So it is basically we can everybody can understand, and we can even both the technical and non-technical team can understand this framework, which is user understandable language. So that is the reason we can prefer that one. That non-technical team can understand the test cases and use cases. So yeah, that is the thing. So explain dynamic binding and static binding. So the dynamic binding and static binding is again the same. method overloading and method overriding. So this is polymorphism, guys. So method overloading is in the sense both classes will, two methods having same signature but different implementation is method overloading, and method overriding is like definition is same but implementation will be different. What is the difference between comparable and comparator? So like that, like they will ask you some sort of a question. So to just check your ability, how would you conclude that login page is user friendly? So here there are multiple aspects, guys. So it is not only the functionality of the one is functionality should be pakka, and user navigation also should be proper, because if they are entering some kind of a wrong password, so that application should assist the customer saying that your password is this thing. So and you have to enter the valid password, and if they want to regenerate some forward password and forget the password, so for that also there should be navigation. So like that it should be designed in such a way that suppose the developer is not fixing a bug, how would you approach the situation? So this is a scenario based question. So to check how do you handle the situation? So it is communicating with the stakeholders, you can get it fixed, right? So the very first thing where you can escalate is in that, yes, if it is still not fixed, so then you can escalate it to p1, then get it done. So what is the threads in JMeter? Threads in JMeter is basically number of users, the number of load threads is also called as a load. So the load basically. Can you automate captchas? Captchas is basically meant for to identify whether it's a human or bots. So technically we can automate, but fundamentally I think it should not be automated. In what cases would you require fluent wait? It depends, guys. If that particular web element is driver is not able to find that one, and if it is taking too long time, so polling time we can give and we can check that one. So in Selenium, how would you open a new tab? So using JavaScript executor, there is a method called Java JS.execute script window.open, so that will open the new tab. In Jenkins, what is the purpose of cron jobs? So the cron jobs is basically to perform certain set of a task on the same time on every whatever the configuration we set. Say for example, if I want to execute or this run this program or build this program every day at 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. 12 p.m. something like that. So it will be a scheduled job which will be running on that particular time and duration, guys. So that's all, guys. If you like my content, please hit the like button, share, subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, please let me know, and also please let me know if you want the detailed explanation for all the questions. Thank you, guys. Thank you so very much.